Hey, just look at that. I think it's actually working. How brilliant is that? This is the Creality Sermoon S1 laser scanner. These are marker dots. What if you could get rid of those marker dots and scan without them? Well, Creality have recently brought out an update which allows you to do that. Putting marker dots out is a right pain in the backside. So I thought I'd give it a try. And in this video, I'm going to show you my findings. Now then, spoiler alert, it's not all good. So, please stick around, watch the video and decide for yourself whether it's something you want to do or not. Now, I don't know why I just threw them on the floor because I've got to pick them up now, you know. Hello, I'm Charlie and welcome back to my channel. So let's get straight into this then, shall we? What I'm going to do today is I'm going to scan these two items here. First of all, I've got this training shoe. And I've also got this air conditioning compressor. Look at the features on that. That should scan quite easily, shouldn't it? I'm going to scan them both in NIR mode. Then I'm going to scan them both in Markerless laser mode, which is a new feature obviously for the Sermoon S1 and I think the P1 at the time of this recording. The question is though, is it any good? Is it needed? Do you need to put markers on things? The biggest problem with putting markers on things is the time it takes to do it. It's an absolute pain in the backside, isn't it? So the easiest way to scan an item would be just basically throw it on your turntable, get the scanner out and scan it in laser mode. So first of all, let's do the shoe. The time of this video, Creality scan is at 4.2.1. Infrared mode. I'm going to do them both in normal object, medium and geometry tracking. So let's start off with this side then where we've got lots of features. Just going to go around the shoe, nice and steady, and see if I can see if it'll scan it. This is where we could have problems here at the back end, where there's not many features. But a little bit of red flashing there then, but we have gone round it okay. Coming round to the toe, up on top. That's all the way around. Come round to the back, look. Look at all the green there. I'm at a good distance away. I'm now optimal. It's going to be getting all the detail in the shoe there. This is going to be a good scan. Let's fuse that then at 0.25 millimeters. Okay, so there's the scan of the shoe in NIR mode. It's got all the detail in. What we're interested here really is to test the laser scanner. Is there enough detail in this item for it to track using features? And I would say, yes, there is. Okay, so new scan then. This time we're going to go to blue laser mode and we're going to do without markers. Now, at the time of recording this video, you can only do this in cross lines. You set the resolution. We're going to set it to 0.25 millimeters, starting exactly the same position as I did last time, which is basically this side of the shoe. So press start. And there we are, scanning. "25 frames a second. This can only be done as well by tethered with the cable. This can't be done wirelessly. So, I mean, it's picking it up. It's scanning that quite well there. Let's come round to the toe. Now, lost a bit of tracking there then. See how it starts to wobble? That's when it's about to lose the tracking. This doesn't feel so solid. It doesn't feel like it's got it locked on as well as the NIR mode. Come round to the corner here now. See if we can go around the corner. Oh yeah. When it wobbles like that, that's when it's about to lose the tracking, that is. Because I have been practicing this. With the NIR scanning, with this scanner, you can sort of go around here a little bit haphazard, you know, a little bit carefree when you go around there because you know that the tracking on this scanner for the NIR is brilliant. It holds it in a treat. It really locks on well. With the laser scanning, it just doesn't feel as planted. So you've got to be like sort of gentle. And now, can you see what's happening there now on the side of this shoe? You see how it went from blue to like a lighter colour there again now on the left, on the back of the shoe. And now it's going blue again. I think it's lost it. I think it's lost it there. Let's have a look, see if I'm right. Yeah, it has. See, it started to double the shoe up here. And that's because it had lost the tracking. Now I went round this 2 or 3 times with the NIR scan and it never lost it once, did it? So the laser just doesn't seem to be holding it well enough. Let's finish that off. Now then, I don't really need to fuse that, do I? Now you can see that that is basically doubled it up because it lost the tracking. So that's basically a scrap scan. Let's add a few features around the outside of it now just to see if we can help it out a little bit. Well, let's start it again. Just like we did before. Around that side, trying to keep it in optimal. This feels a bit better, this does now. It's actually scanning it quicker, isn't it? I don't know whether this is going to be evident to somebody watching this as it is to me holding it, but it just feels a little bit better, a little bit more locked in. See it wobble then, just a touch. See if we can get around that toe. Now, it's got a lighter colour again there around the toe, and then it'll go blue, and I think that basically has doubled up the toe now. Let's have a quick look before I go any further. It has. Look at it. You see that? Doubled up the toe. I've just put them a little bit closer around there, just by the toe, and let's just have a look, see if we give it one more chance. Now, we've got that little bit of a double wobble now, haven't we? Yeah, look at that. No good at all. I mean, look at this here now as well. That's just absolutely hopeless, isn't it? New project then for the air compressor. New scan, infrared mode. Again, we're going to go normal, we're going to go medium, we're going to go geometry tracking. And let's see if we can go around now then by scanning this. Optimal distance, keeping it in the centre of the frame, going round. Now this is a bit where I would expect to be problems now, as we come round to this curved side. Okay, so this is Future Charlie just butting in here. I was actually bigging up the scanner when I was scanning this, doing a bit of a commentary for you, but I didn't realise at the time that it had actually made a massive cock up here, the NIR scanner had. When it went around to that side, where I'd just told everybody how well it was doing, it had actually doubled it up. But it had doubled it up perfectly almost by 190 degrees, which is why I didn't spot it straight away. I thought that I'd scanned that quite well, but it hasn't, look. Because it's actually got 2 bosses here. That boss there, and that boss there. Okay, I want to do that one more time now then, because obviously the purpose of this test is to see whether it can track it in NIR mode and then see whether it can track it then in laser mode. So I've just put these bits of plasticine around the edges just to help with the features, and I'm going to try it one more time in NIR mode. Okay, so I've just sped this up again for you, but I'm pleased to report that this one actually came out well. Those little bits of plasticine in there just adds a few features to the plain side of it and turn out a perfect scan. But as I've said before in other videos, if you need it, put it in there. Okay, so there we are then, the fuse at 0.25, and as you can see that's a much better scan. Got the 2 bosses on the sides, but it's only got the one flange sticking out. Okay, so that's come out as I would have expected then, really. I thought it was going to scan it the first time, but it obviously didn't. So I needed those bits of plasticine around the outside to hold the tracking in there. Now then, I'm not going to touch anything on here now. I'm going to throw this straight away now then into Markerless laser scanning mode. It should now hold the tracking and give me a nice laser scan of this. So, blue laser without markers, 0.25 millimeters, cross lines. Again, with the same orientation. We're on automatic the same. Let's have a look how we get on. Keeping our subject in the centre of the frame. Go all the way around. Trying to keep those bits of plasticine in the frame at all times, because those are the bits that are obviously helping us with the tracking. This feels better. Coming around the corner, trying to keep the plasticine and the object in frame at the same time. Getting it all to turn blue. Want to get that bottom flange in. See if I can come up to the top a little bit. Again, keeping the plasticine and the object in all the time. See if I can do a revolution all the way around. Nicely turning blue. Now, as we found out before, the second revolution normally screws it up. Look at the preview screen, I'm keeping the plasticine and the compressor in shot at the same time. We haven't had that wobble and it just feels planted. Just feels like I could just sit here all day doing this. Now it reckons in the instructions for the scanner, plan your route, don't go over things twice. But you miss bits out, don't you? You got little bits where you think to yourself, I need to get that again. But you need to go over things twice, I think. I'm doing this more now than I should. I'm sort of torture testing this now. So look how that's come out. I'm just going to throw this out to Mesh Mixer now so I can get a better look at this, because I do like that. There we are. I do like looking at things in Mesh Mixer. It just shows it. It just portrays it so much better. So let's have a closer look at this then to see if it's doubled anything up or whether it's a good solid scan. The thing to look for is around things like this, around the holes, so whether there's like 2 holes or the starts of 2 holes and there's not, is there? So it's done that all right. And the detail in here, look, where's this number? The number 6573903, that's come out really well. Another number there, but look at the detail. But there's no doubling up here, is to have these features, so that is a good scan. That's a solid scan, that is. Done without markers. So there you go then, the compressor scanned really well. I needed to put the extra bits of plasticine in there for the NIR scan as well. Adding those in, it scanned it well in the NIR mode, and it scanned it brilliantly in Markerless laser mode. That's easy to say, isn't it? In Markerless laser mode. The training shoe. Why wouldn't that scan? It's not shiny. It is black, but it's not shiny. There's enough features on there for it to scan in NIR mode, and it did that really well in NIR mode, so why wouldn't it do it in laser mode? Did it need more features? I added the bits of plasticine in there and it still couldn't do it. So, I don't know. I think the technology's there, but it's not quite good enough yet. Now, scanning any items of this size, I would never do them in markerless mode. I'd always put some markers out because you just can't go wrong. The markers are the most accurate way of doing it. The real use case, I think, for markerless mode is when you do something big. Like an engine bay, for instance, you wanted to put something into the engine. In fact, that's given me an idea. I'm going to have to get this out into the garage and do an engine bay in markerless mode and see how I get on with that. So I'm going to go and have a think about that. In the meantime, thanks for watching.